Hari Om. We are going to continue with the inheritance and example programs. In the last class, we have discussed what is inheritance, what are the two forms of inheritance, the classical and containment inheritance we have discussed, and we have also seen how to define a subclass. The format of defining a subclass we have seen: access modifier, the class keyword, and the base class name to be specified. And when you want to define a derived class, use the class keyword, derived class name, and the base class name. This is the format of declaring a subclass or a derived class. And we have also seen an inheritance sample program. Then we have seen some of the important characteristics of the inheritance. So today we are going to discuss what is the feasibility control to be applied for the inheritance. Now, as we have seen, when you are declaring any class, the access modifier will be specified. The same way for the derived class also, we will be specifying the access modifier. So the access modifier for class and members can be private, public, internal, and protected. These are the four possible access modifiers that we can see for a class or for a member to control the accessibility or visibility of that particular object or the member of that particular object. So when you take the visibility control, we can have class visibility and we can also have member visibility. We can have class visibility as well as we can have member visibility also. Let us see how the class visibility is defined. Now when you take each class has to specify its level of visibility. So the level of visibility will decide which part of the system can create objects of that particular class. So that is why we are going to give the visibility, which will be nothing but the accessibility or the access modifier of the class. So this visibility will be deciding which part of the system can create the objects of the class. So if the class is a public class, it can create an object anywhere. When I say anywhere, it can be inside the program or it can be outside the program also. So like that, if I want to decide which part of the system can create objects or can manipulate the objects of that particular class, that can be decided by the visibility control. So when you take classes, you can have two visibility modifiers. These are the two important visibility modifier which is commonly used. One is public, the other one is internal. And observe here, internal is the default modifier for the class. You can have public or you can have internal. When I say default, if there is no access modifier specified, then the system considers the class as an internal class. If you want to make it public, you have to give the keyword public while declaring a class. Apart from these two, when I take public, and remember, public classes objects can be created anywhere. When I say anywhere, it can be inside the program, it can be inside the application, or it can be outside the application also. So if your class is declared as a library and if it is taken as a component to some other application, then it can be used for creating an object outside the application, outside the program also or outside the library also. So any class which is declared as public, the objects of the class can be created anywhere inside the application or outside the application also. But if you are going to declare any class as internal, and remember this is a default modifier, if you declare it as internal, the objects of the class can be created only inside the program and not outside the program. So these are the two common visibility modifiers. Apart from that, you can also have private modifier for a class. So if you are going to have a private modifier, remember the class must be declared as a member of a class. Only then we will be using it as a private modifier. Remember, a class can also be declared as private if it is declared as a member of a class. We have already seen inside a nesting of classes. When we have discussed nesting of classes, inside a class you can declare another class. Inside a class you can declare another class as a member. By the time the member can be declared as a private class, whereas if you are declaring it as an independent class, it can hold only public or internal. But if it is a member of another class, then it can have the visibility control as private, because it can be used only inside that particular class. In the same way, we can have visibility for the class members also. The class members can have private, protected, public, internal or protected internal. These are the 5 visibility control that we can give for the members of a class. Members of a class. Remember, for the member, private is the default modifier. So the default modifier for a member of a class is private, whereas the default modifier for a class is internal. So let us see what is the visibility of class members. So this table describes what is the visibility of class members. So these are the keywords that I can have. So the class members can be inside the class, or it can be in the derived class, or it can be in the program, or it can be anywhere. So these are the 4 possibilities that we are going to talk about. So if you declare a member as private, it can be accessed only inside the class, and it cannot be accessed in the derived class or in the program or anywhere outside the containing program. But if you declare a member as a protected member, then it can be accessed inside the class. It can be accessed in the derived class also, but not anywhere else. If you declare a keyword as if you declare a member as internal, it can be accessed in the class, it can be accessed in the program, but it cannot be accessed in the derived class or outside the program. Whereas if you declare a member as protected internal, it can be accessed in the class, it can be accessed in the derived class, it can be accessed in the program, and it cannot be accessed outside the containing program. Whereas if you declare a member as public, and it can be accessed anywhere. You can access it in the class, in the derived class, in the containing program, or outside the containing program also. So if you want to make a member to be accessed anywhere, then you can declare it as public. And if you want to make the member to be accessed only in the class, declare it as private. If you want to make a member in the class as well as in the derived class, declare it as protected. And if you want to make a member to be accessed in the containing class, derived class and in the program. Declare it as protected internal, but if you declare it as internal, it can be accessed only in the class or in the program. It cannot be accessed in the derived class. So this is the visibility of class members in a class. And when you are declaring the accessibility, this is one of the very important criteria that you have to understand when you declare the accessibility. It is important to have the accessibility of domain member is never larger than that of class containing itself. Remember, accessibility of domain member is never larger than that of class containing itself. That means this is a domain member for this particular class. This is a member for this particular class. So the accessibility of this member should not be larger than that of the class containing itself. Accessibility of this member should not be larger than that of the class containing itself. So here the two members are A and B, which is the containing class is ABC. Members are A and B. The containing class is ABC. So when you declare an access modifier for A or B, this access modifier should not be larger than the access modifier of the class. Say for example, the access modifier of the class you have declared as internal, but if you are going to declare the member as public, public is larger than the internal modifier. So here you are declaring it as internal, but here you are going to declare it as public. This is not possible, because if the class is internal class, it can be accessed only inside the program. If so, the member of the class can also be accessed only in the program, not anywhere else. So there is no sense when you are going to declare this as public and this as internal. So that is why this criteria is taken as an important criteria to describe the visibility control. So remember, the accessibility of the domain member should not be larger than that of class containing itself. So let us see the accessibility of domain members. So if the member modifier is public, and the class is also public, then the member can be accessed anywhere, right? This is also public, this is also public, then the member can be accessed anywhere. But the member modifier is public, but the class is internal, then though the member is public, it can be accessed only inside the program. That is what the example I gave you. Here you are going to declare it as public, but this is internal. But whatever is the modifier for the class, that will be taken here, and the public will not be considered, because if this is internal, the objects of this class can be accessed only in the program. Appo members can also be accessed only inside the program. So if the member is public and the class is internal, then the member can be accessed only in the program. The same way, the member is public but the class is private, then it can be accessed only inside the class. But if you see the member is internal but the class is public, then also the member will be accessed only in the program. If both are internal means what? Both the member as well as the class are internal, then also it will be accessed only in the program. The member is internal but the class is private, obviously the class is lesser than the member, then the member will be accessed only in the class. And if both are private, the member is also private, the class is also private, member is also private, class is also private, then it can be accessed only inside the class. So this is what is specified here. The very important criteria when you describe access modifier, or when you define an access modifier for a member, the accessibility of the domain member should not be larger than that of the class containing itself. So whenever you define an access modifier, you have to think about whether the member is to be accessed inside the class, outside the class, or outside the program itself. If so, decide the accessibility control for the class also accordingly. Now when you take the accessibility of the base class members, these are the important properties that you have to remember. All the members except constructors and destructors are inherited from the base class to the derived class. All the members except constructors and destructors are inherited from the base class to the derived class. And declared accessibility of base class has no control over its inheritability. So just because you inherited to the derived class, the accessibility of the base class will not have any control over its inheritability. Then, for example, I will give you an example here for the declared accessibility. You are declaring a member as protected in the base class. A member is a protected member in the base class, and you are going to derive it to the derived class. Now the derived class has the accessibility for the protected member, but that member cannot be accessed outside the derived class. That is why we say the declared accessibility of the base class has no control over its inheritability. Then you have private, protected and public in the base class has different accessibility in the derived class. So private members cannot be accessed in the derived class. Protected members can be accessed in the derived class. Public members can be accessed in the derived class as well as outside the derived class. So all of these have their own accessibility or visibility control. So each has different accessibility in the derived class. Then let us see what are the constraints that are imposed on the accessibility. So these are some of the constraints available in the visibility control. Direct base class of a derived class must be at least as accessible as the derived class itself. Direct base class of a derived class must be at least as accessible as the derived class itself. Let us see an example here. I have class A. It is not having any access modifier, so by default it is internal. And you are having a derived class here which is public class, and it is deriving A. This is not possible. Why? Because the direct base class of a derived class must be at least as accessible as the derived class. So if the derived class you want to be public, your base class should also be public. So this is one kind of constraint. So even though you are going to declare it as public, the class B will take only internal and it will not take it as public. This is same something like here the property we have said here, accessibility of the domain member should not be larger than that of the class containing itself. In the same way, the accessibility of the derived class should not be larger than that of the base class. That is what this particular point says that. So the direct base class of a derived class must be at least as accessible as the derived class itself. Then accessibility domain of a member is never larger than that of a class containing itself. That we have already seen. The examples also we have seen. Then the last one, the return type of a method must be at least as accessible as the method itself. This is also very important. Return type of a method must be at least as accessible as the method itself. Let us see. This is the example. I have a base class A which is internal. I am declaring a public class B which derives the properties of A. Okay. Now what I am going to do, I am declaring a method. I am even if it is not deriving class A, this accessibility control constraint is imposed. Here they are independent. Here class A is independent of class B. Okay. Now what I am going to do, I am going to declare a method. Method 1, method 2 and method 3. Method 1 is returning A as the return data type. Method 2 is also returning A. Method 3 is also returning A. Now what is the visibility control of class A? The visibility control of class A is internal. So what happens here, when I am declaring, the return type is A, which is having private as the return type. This is allowed. And return type is A, and the return data type is having access modifier as internal. This is also allowed. But here the return data type is A, but the access modifier we have given it as public. This is not allowed. Why? Because class A itself is having only internal accessibility. If so, the object returned cannot be a public object. It can be only internal. I repeat, the return type of a method must be at least as accessible as the method itself. Now, the method is actually a public method, but the return data type cannot be a public. Return data type cannot be internal because, I repeat, the return data type is object of class A. The object of class A can be accessed only as internal accessibility. So if you are going to declare it as public, the system will give you an error. This is very important. So these are the three examples given for these three constraints that are specified. The first constraint says that the direct base class of a derived class must be at least as accessible as the derived class itself. So the base class is internal, but the derived class cannot be public. It can be internal or lesser than internal, and it cannot be greater than internal. So public is larger than internal. So if the base class is internal, the derived class can be internal or private, and it cannot be public. That is what it says. What is the second constraint? Accessibility domain of a member is never larger than the class containing itself. So this is the class declared. The class is declared as private, but the member is declared as public. Class is private and the member is public. So if the class is private, the objects of the class can be declared, the objects of the class cannot be created. So obviously if you are going to declare it as public, this cannot be accessed anywhere. And the third constraint says that the return type of a method must be at least as accessible as the method itself. So if you are going to declare it, the class here is declared as internal. So whatever objects of this particular class returned by the method should be internal or lesser than internal, and it cannot be larger than internal. So these are some of the examples that we can quote for the accessibility constraints. So with this, we are going to complete the lesson for visibility control. We will continue with inheritance in the next video. Thank you.